To my African Christian brothers and sisters, we still cannot find any evidence or ancient remains of any person mentioned in the Bible, but enough evidence is available on the remains of ancient African kings and queens who existed over 10,000 years ago before there was a mention of Jehovah, Allah, or Jesus. The first pyramid is older than the biblical Tower of Babel. It was built in Egypt around the 3rd political dynasty, and it is still standing in Egypt in a place called Saqqara. It was built by the great architect and African Egyptian named Imhotep and his group of masons for Pharaoh Dojoza. Is it not shameful that we are yet to see any evidence about your biblical Tower of Babel? Christianity and Judaism told us that the world is 6,000 years old. Meanwhile, we have found the remains of early man in Africa of about 3.2 million years old. We are yet to unearth the skeleton of any character in both the Old and New Testament. If you go deep into the graves, there are no record of any biblical figure, but we have found the remains of Queen T, the African Egyptian queen who existed 3,500 years ago before the story of Adam and Eve. She was the wife of Amenhotep III and the woman who bore Akhenaten. Akhenaten became the first human being on earth to practice the worship of one God, which is monotheism. This was before any record of anyone by the name of Moses. Akhenaten was formerly called Amenhotep IV, who was the son of Amenhotep III and Queen T. Now, in the 18th dynasty of his reign, he revolted against the gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt by establishing only one god for the Egyptians to worship. The Africans in Egypt had a spiritual order where polytheism, which is the worship and recognition of many gods, was more ideal, even if the Egyptians still recognize Amen or Amun-Ra as the official state deity, where the kings receives their blessings before becoming kings. Akhenaten was not new to this spiritual order. It was an order he was born into, but when he became the pharaoh, he revolted against the gods and goddesses by introducing Aten, which is the dex of the sun, and it was Aten Akhenaten declared as the supreme. Akhenaten was so passionate for the promotion of his new belief that he changed his name from Amenhotep, which means Amen or Amun is pleased, to Akhenaten, which means servant of Aten. The spread of this new religion of monotheism was highly pushed forward by Nefertiti, the beloved wife of Akhenaten. She gave uncountable support to the passion of her husband. In fact, she became the high priestess of Aten. The beauty of this black woman startled foreign traders who did trade directly with her. Her name Nefertiti means a beautiful woman has come. Akhenaten was so obsessed with the worship of Aten that he moved the capital of Egypt from Thebes to Akhenaton, a new place he created, which means the place where Aten will be effective. The son of Akhenaten in the person of Tutankhamun was named Tutankhaten, which means the living image of Aten. But when he became the king, he rebelled against the ideas of his father, which he declared as blasphemy. The young pharaoh denounced Aten and announced Amun-Ra or Amen-Ra as the official state deity. To prove to his people that he has renounced Aten, the young pharaoh changed his name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamun, which clearly means a living image of Amun or Amen. After the death of Akhenaten, the ancient Egyptians erased and eradicated his name from Egyptian history.